right, thanks for joining us. Really good night last night. Obviously, to sit in the post game. Proud of the way our guys responded. We faced adversity, played a good team. Knew we'd get their best shot, and they did a good job. Proud of the way our offense always answered Furman scores with scores of our own. Dealt with adversity, got better as the game went on after dealing with adversity, and was able to get our young guys in there and get them a lot of work last night as well. Disappointed, in some of the penalties. We had 6 penalties alone just on the offensive line, either procedural penalties or holding penalties. And we've got to be better there. We can't beat ourselves, and when you have that many penalties, you are. And then special teams-wise, normally we're raving about special teams around here, and last night was certainly a disappointing night from a special teams standpoint. Botched things on extra points and missed field goal, botched extra points with some of the muddle huddle stuff, bad snap, missed opportunity in the return game because of a dumb penalty on a return. Opportunity. I thought it would have been. Really felt good about our opportunity to block a punt last night. We didn't get it done, so we certainly need to be better there. After looking at it as coaches, our offensive player of the game was Spencer Rattler and Xavier Legette. Our defensive player of the game was TJ Sanders. You guys that have covered us know that we have 3 different categories or 3 different special teams players of the game each week. And last night for us, that was Tonka Hemingway was one of them, and Xavier Legette actually won 2 of them. We have the 3 different awards, and Xavier Legette won 2 of them. I don't know if that's ever happened in my time here at Carolina where one person won 2 of the Special Teams Player of the Game awards. Our scout team guys did a great job. They worked their butts off during the week, and it showed last night. Scout Special Teams Player of the Week was Jace Blackshear, one of our defensive backs. Scout Defensive Player of the Week was Elijah Davis. Then he got in the game last night and did a good job. And then our Scout Offensive Player of the Week was Ben Rollins at receiver. Really cool to see Ben get in there last night and catch a ball on 3rd down. So proud of him. And then our other Scout Offensive Player of the Week was Lenoris Sellers, which when you practice well, you play well. And he showed that last night. And Lenoris was a handful for our defense last week on the practice field getting ready as the scout team quarterback. Injury-wise, hope to get Marquis Anderson back this week. Say he's very probable. Hope to get JT Gear back this week. I would say he's probable. And then for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through every single person, guys. So just anybody that you're going to ask me about is questionable. And that's guys that were going into the game last night. That's guys that got hurt in the game last night. They're all questionable at this point. So nobody that I can say is definitely out. Nobody that I could say is definitely playing. We'll see how treatment goes today, tomorrow, and have a better update for you on Tuesday. So we got practice at 6:30 tonight, so y'all have got about 11 minutes and 48 seconds, so fire away.
Shane, it's Dave. You've mentioned how well Xavier has been practicing, doing extra work. How do you coach him right now? I mean, do you even go up to him on the practice field and say anything, or you just say, you know what, that guy's got it, and I'm going to go concentrate on these other guys? You
said Xavier Legette. I'm sorry, David.
Yeah,
that he said. Yeah, I just continue to point out how hard he's working. I mentioned in the press conference last night, about some of his speeds in practice and speeds in games, and those speeds in games that he's hitting, they're happening after probably when he's covering a punt after he's played about 7 plays on offense already potentially that series. So, for me, I continue to talk to him about it and recognize him in front of the team. The guy works his tail off, and there's no secret. It's showing. He's the special teams player of the game. He's the offensive player of the game, and just doing so many good things. So X is a mature guy. I don't have to say much to him other than just how much I appreciate you.
Hey, Shane, it's Hale. I was kind of curious about the special teams awards that he got from y'all. What were some of the things that led to him getting both of those, and what can you kind of share about the specific?
For us, as our, he's our kickoff returner, and it's making good decisions and doing a good job in the return game. That's what he does, so that's one aspect of it. And then, he's our gunner on the punt team as well, and those were our two critical positions last year for us. That was Jalen Brooks and Darius Rush, and both those guys are on NFL rosters right now. So it was a big question mark for us who were going to be those gunners on our punt team, and X has done an awesome job. So, you watch, I think the first punt, if I'm not mistaken, he, does a great job getting downfield in coverage, and then fronts up the returner where he has nowhere to go. There's another punt where he's down there in front of the returner's face and makes the returner run sideways, where we're able to get over there and make the tackle over on Furman's sideline. And then he also gets down there and downs a punt on about the 1-inch line last night as well. So doing a great job as our kickoff returner, doing a great job as our gunner on the punt team. And if we let him, he would do more. I mean, he's still mad at us because we don't have him on the kickoff team, and that's just the kind of guy he is.
Saying it's Colin. You talked a little bit about Mario Anderson last night, but what did you see from DJ Braswell, and how close are you guys to maybe figuring out that identity in the run game?
We're getting, we're getting closer. Our yards per carry wasn't what we want last night, but we went over 100 yards, and I know because of Steve Fink's research, our record around here is pretty dang good when we rush over 100 yards. I think we're now like 13-1 or something if we just get 100 yards. So proud of that, but we need to be better, certainly more consistent yards per carry. We know the competition level is about to ramp up quickly. DJ did a nice job. Thought Mario did a nice job. We got 4 guys in there that are continuing to get better. I think DK continues to get more and more comfortable and at that position, and then certainly DJ Braswell has has a little bit of juice to him and a burst as well. I think DJ's learning that he can't outrun everybody to the sideline like maybe he could in high school. Mario is a guy that is a downhill thumper and has a great low center of gravity and athleticism and balance. So I'm excited about those guys, and we need to continue to get better in that room and certainly bring DJ and Mario along even quicker.
Shane, Dave again. I mean, Linares obviously played very well last night. Are you guys at the point of maybe like we've got to get some plays in for this guy every game? Just how do you kind of handle his workload?
Yeah, I think it's certainly each week is different, but he brings an element that is a challenge for teams to prepare for, and he's a good player. But then the other thing is we've got a quarterback that's playing pretty good right now as the starter. And you certainly don't want to take him off the field. But, the way Linares works, he earns every opportunity he gets out there to play. There's no setting or no environment or no situation that I wouldn't feel good about, throwing him in there and doing some things as well. Luke got in there. Luke was our second quarterback in the game last night and did some decent things as well. So I think with Linares, it's just continue to work and get better. And every week is different. Every game plan is different. But he certainly, has an element that is that can be a challenge for teams.
Hey, Shane, it's Andrew. I wanted to ask you about some of the young guys in the secondary, especially with Keenan Nelson and Nick Emenwari going down over the past couple of weeks. How do you think those guys have been progressing so far this season?
I think good. Jalen Kilgore has come in and proven that he's a stud. And, you go back and look at the last 2 games and just the amount of, plays he's made at the point of attack, whether the passing game, tackling one-on-one in the open field. He's kind of, so far, I know we've only played 2 games, but he's very much like Nick and DQ were for us last year coming in as true freshmen. Judge Collier, he's really our third corner right now behind Sell and O'Donnell. And Judge is a guy that's very raw but continues to get better. Let's see, Bakari Swain got in there last night a little bit. Zabari Sandy is a guy that we have been working at corner, and we started working him at nickel a little bit last week. He got in there last night. So I'm excited about all those guys as they continue to, come along. And Emory Floyd's not a true freshman, but Emory really didn't play much last year. It's his second year in the program, but he's very much a true freshman, and he's doing a good job also.
Shane, this is Colin again. You were pleased with the offensive line last night. After watching the film today, did you kind of confirm that? And what did you see from Tro and Tree last night? I
thought Tro and Tree were really good last night for true freshmen. They both tried to play with a physicality and an edge to them. I was really impressed with them, for them to be true freshmen going in there in their first game and playing a solid defensive line that was a veteran group that against guys that are 3, 4, 5 years older than them. I was really impressed with them overall with the offensive line. I thought they were solid. Protection was good, for the most part. We've got to continue to be better. Some things that certainly we need to correct from last night, but it was a step forward, and hopefully we can kind of really just get guys in place and knock on wood, stay healthy and not have to move guys around too much and solidify kind of who our top guys are and keep them in one place and not have to bounce them around too much. Last night Ja'Kai Moore was playing a little bit of right guard and right tackle, and we just got to continue we've been working Ja'Kai Moore at right guard and right tackle and, moving guys around kind of left side, right side, tackle guard, center guard, all that stuff. We need to get healthy and be able to continue to just solidify who those guys are.
Peyton from the state, just wanted to ask, SEC play starts this week. What's your message for the guys here at practice 6:30 tonight about preparing and everything?
Message tonight, we'll get more into Georgia on Tuesday when our guys come back in after the day off tomorrow. But for us, it's always about us, and we say that around here, and it's the truth. And when we were getting ready for UNC, it's about us. And last week against Furman, it's about us. And then this week against Georgia, it's against us. I mean, we know what kind of challenge that will be over in Athens, but we just need to make sure that everybody on our team, every coach, is doing everything they can to, what do we have to do to be at our best this week? What do we have to do this week in order to, play well and coach well? And let's focus on those things. And our guys will be excited to get to Athens and go play.
Shane, it's Alan. You mentioned the nickel position there with Keenan and David, both questionable right now. Who else is kind of emerging there, and how much depth do you feel like you have at that spot?
Well, Kwan Banks played 48 plays last night at nickel, so there's your answer. You got David Spalding, you got Keenan Nelson, and just like it's been since the UNC game last week, Kwan Banks is the other nickel.
Hey, Shane, it's Ben Brenner. A little follow-up on Banks. Just kind of, what has he kind of been able to show you in those snaps? It seems like he's made, maybe a few pop plays, but when you kind of get on the film, what has he kind of showed?
That pop plays, like you call him. I mean, he's got a toughness. He's an undersized guy, but he throws his body around, and he's a football player. He's a competitor. He's just got an edge to him, even though he's undersized. I mean, you go back to the spring game, and he about knocked himself out on a play in the spring game over there near our sideline on a hit. So, guy just loves to play, loves to compete, and knows he's undersized, and makes up for that with the edge that he plays with.
Hey, Shane, this is Mark Weiser in Athens. It's the last year of divisions in the SEC. I know you won the East in 2017 here at Georgia. Did you get a ring from that division title? Do you remember what it was like to be part of that in year two?
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome to be a part of a SEC championship, because my first year as a graduate assistant at Tennessee was 2001. We played in the SEC championship game that year against Tennessee. And, you think you're going to get to go all the time. And then I went in 2010, obviously, here at South Carolina against Auburn. And then the next time I was part of a championship game was Virginia Tech one year, but then Georgia also. But it was really cool to be a part of the first SEC championship at Georgia since whatever year it was. It had been a while, early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. So that was really cool. And to represent the East in Atlanta against the West was really cool. That whole year was awesome, just being able to do that, win the SEC, coaching the Rose Bowl, and then coaching the national championship game. That was a special year.
What do you think of divisions going away?
I don't love it. I mean, I'm an old school guy. Don't get me started on expansion and realignment and all that stuff. But I'm old school and I've always loved the division aspect of it, but I do like the fact that, everybody's going to get to play everybody, and players in our program will get to visit other schools as well. So it is what it is, and we'll go play who they tell us to play. So we'd love to stay on here with you guys all night, but I got a football team to go coach. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks.